Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Don't you love when you have a person allowing you to do certain things that actually the person has no authority to tell you shit? It's like you go outside and a neighbor walks to you and says, "Hey, Tommy, I allow you to drive your car on public roads." "Oh, thank you very much, Jimmy. Now go back to your little hole." Now this is what the United States does continuously to everyone, including in this case India. Now India showed that it has a foreign and economic and military strategic policy of its own and does not listen to these guys' mac. Okay, so here we have I don't know, man, this is a mediocre person. Yellen, the chief of the treasury department, how you want to call her, whatever ministry or whatever her title is, I can't remember it right now. She is in charge of that department, and she could not foresee the inflation. If you remember, it surprised her, the inflation. We all knew, but she was like, "I didn't know, what the hell." Anyway, secretary of treasury or something. So this article comes from Sputnik. She visits India. Remember, she goes to India and she's going to speak with those smart, strong guys, and she's going to be smacked over her snot. I don't know why she went over there anyway. And this is the article from Sputnik from today, the 11th, right? No, the 12th of November 2022. And time passes so fast. And this is the title. India can buy all Russian oil it wants outside the price cap, but can't use Western services, she says, US says. How much arrogance! India, the world's third largest consumer of oil, relies on imports to meet 85% of its requirements. Like most of the global south, India has witnessed higher than average inflation this year because of high energy and food prices caused by the Western efforts to phase out Russian energy in the world in the wake of the special military operation in Ukraine. Remember, this is a Russian media outlet, so forgive the semantics. US Treasury Secretary, that's the weasel, Janet Yellen, I think she's a kosher Zelensky, has said that US would, it doesn't really matter, but just has said that the US would be happy to have India buy as much Russian oil. So US would be happy to have India buy as much Russian oil as it wants, once the G7-backed price cap kicks in, on the condition that New Delhi doesn't use Western insurance, finance, or maritime services. So doesn't that say that you are in charge? If you can do that unless you do that. That means you have power to do something. It's okay with you to do that, but you can't do this unless you do. If you do this, then you're going to have problems. Or he's just a friend informing India that you can do that as much as you want, but be careful, my friend. Don't go over there because that's gonna bite. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Yellen. Yes, and to make sure, I just checked again because I knew I did that when she was appointed. And it says Yellen was born on August 13, 1946, to a family of Polish Jews. I say Jewish ancestry. Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Her mother was Anna Ruth Blumenthal, 100%, there you have it. And her father was Julius Yellen. Anyway, not that it matters, but it's just a coincidence. I'm pretty sure it's just a coincidence, like many other ones. Anyway, let's move on. And I'm quoting here. Russia is going to find it very difficult to continue shipping as much oil as it has done when the EU stops buying Russian oil. Yellen told, well, when you're going to have them shoot themselves in the foot. Yellen told reporters at Reuters on the sidelines of her meeting with Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitaraman in New Delhi on Friday evening. The US Treasury Secretary said that most of the international buyers are reliant on Western services. The G7 bloc of the world's richest nations and Australia announced a plan to limit the international price of Russian crude through a price cap in September. So they want it, but they want it at a low price. That's beautiful. They don't say, well, we don't want it at all. We have the morality right here and our forehead saying virtuous, and we're not going to buy it at all. We're going to hurt you because you're criminals. No, they say, no, you're criminals, we're virtuous, but we're going to still buy it from you. But guess what? We're going to give you dumping price. Very low price. How much we think that we should buy it for? What the fuck is that? Weasel. That's what it is. Weasel mentality. They're all virtuous. They're all great, fantastic. Well, nobody buys anything, okay, from the Russians anymore. We're done with them. But maybe we buy it, but we buy it very cheap. How about that? Should we do that? Yeah. Well, we still call ourselves virtuous? Yes. Hello, good. Long live the king. So the G7 bloc on the world's I've said that already. They will try to do it in September. The G7 bloc of the world's richest nations and Australia announced a plan to limit the international price of Russian crude through a price cap in September. The proposed cap is scheduled to kick in on 5 of December. Under the price cap, countries importing Russian oil will have to purchase it at a price which is lower than the international price. That means gouging right here, price gouging like that. The G7 said that the plan is aimed to deprive Moscow of its revenues in the wake of the special military operation of Ukraine this February. Yellen said last month that the Biden administration was contemplating to cap the price of Russian oil at less than $60 per barrel when it sells to what, 120 or something? I don't know if it's still at 120. It was at 90. Moscow has rejected the plan, you think? The 8 rounds of economic sanctions imposed by Western governments against Moscow since the launch of the special military operation in Ukraine have exempted Russian oil and gas exports because of the EU's heavily reliance on them. However, the EU said it will ban maritime imports of Russian crude by next month. So anyway, it says here that early intelligence firm Vortexa said this month that Russia became India's largest supplier of crude in October, accounting for 22% of New Delhi's overall oil imports, up from 0.2% in the previous fiscal year. Wow, my God. So yeah, they're doing what they can, right? They need it. It says inflation, they need that. Jai Shankar visited Moscow last week, and he said that he's not going to do anything about it. He's gonna he said this, and I'm quoting Jai Shankar, in that respect about buying energy from Russia, we have quite honestly seen that the India-Russian relationship has worked to our advantage. If it works to my advantage, I would like to keep that going. Good, Jai Shankar, you're my hero. You are. He's got balls, he's got brains, he's got courage. Yes, that's balls in this case. So, yes, it's in the interest of my country, I will do it. Off, basically. And Yellen said, yeah, you can do that, we allow you. Smack, Yellen, smack. So, they're going to keep buying that. I'm surprised that the US doesn't have the ability to do something in India. You know what I mean? A little human rights violation, some mass demonstrations, someone being killed here and there. Poor Imran Khan in Pakistan was, and he's back in business. He's doing all right. If you were concerned for yourself, he's back in business with his long march. and I'm waiting for the next strike. He survived the first one. Let's see if he's gonna survive the next one, because it's going to be a next one. I guarantee you that. Well, good job, India. Do what you do best and be yourself. Take care of your nation, your population, and as you don't get involved in other countries' business, economic business, then nobody should get in yours unless they are your bosses, and in this case United States is not the boss of India. Wanna be, but it's not. It's not. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.